So you can catch it, match it, stash it in the cabinet. Listen to the chorus while let Ivan scratch it. This is real hip hop, we aiming for a classic. And if we can't approach it, screw it, we'll attack it. Catch it, match it, stash it in the cabinet. Listen to the chorus while let Ivan. This is real hip hop, we aiming for a classic. And if we can't approach it, screw it, we'll attack it. What you know about classic music?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's Retro Wrestling Review Series, one of many, I'm sure, for Backlash. This week is going to be Backlash 2007, and, oh boy.
We got some stuff to talk about here.
We have, long and short of it, the good, the bad, and the flat-out fucking ugly on pro wrestling in, like, one fucking pay-per-view here. Like, that's basically what this is. So, yeah, we got a lot going on here. We got Zero in the chat, as always. Zero, our newest member of FTW Productions, by the way. Go give him a sub on Zero Entertainment, which is the channel he's on right now, and Color TV. You can put the links in the description if you want, and if you are so inclined. Zero.
Well, in the chat section.
Yeah, in the chat section. Put it in. I'll put it as an iCard after it's been on demand. Go give our boy some love. Our newest member officially of FTW Productions. Already a member of Triple Threat Promotions, so also give them a little bit of love as well. Just created a new logo for them not too long ago. But yeah, this fucking show. I like, so... It's like, it was weird because the undercard was good, and then Vince happened, and then Batista and Undertaker was surprisingly underwhelming, and then the main event was like the best match of the whole show, by leaps and bounds. Like, I call it the greatest WWE produced, so NXT don't count here, but the greatest, WWE produced main roster Fatal 4-Way ever. The only thing that tops it is obviously TLC 3 on SmackDown, but that's because there's it's fucking tag team warfare basically. It's basically just it was the earliest form of Aztec warfare ever, so it's like, you know, that was to be expected, especially considering the works involved. But for a world title, full-on just world heavyweight title, this is the best four-way for that prize ever. I don't think anything has come close to this from then or since. And what a fucking finish that was. So that's basically the story of the show. But yeah, we're gonna go spot for spot here and fucking get into the shiznit. But what do you think of the show?
I enjoyed it. At least what parts I could stay awake for.
Oh, Jesus.
Because it had been the day from hell at work that day, and
yeah.
I was just completely fucking exhausted.
Which, I feel. Dude, I was, up until fucking, 3 a.m. doing a podcast after I was done a documentary for, hours. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm wiped. I'm so glad I watched it ahead of time when I knew I had the free time, as opposed to trying to do it over the weekend, because we would not be here right now, probably. Yeah. But yeah, pretty decent show. So you saw the main event, correct?
I saw the two main events. Yes.
Yeah. What about the rest of the shit?
I saw most of the rest of it.
Right.
I think the only one I really fell asleep on, and this is gonna sound really bad of me, was probably the women's match.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing. It was a very heatless match, but it was a good wrestling match. I mean, that's kind of to be expected between Melina and Mickey, but it's like, yeah, there's no heat for this at all. There's like zero heat for much of the shit, going on this fucking card tonight.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because at a big four, this would be a pretty stacked card on
No,
paper.
it would be. It would be a very stacked card on paper, but let's get into the fucking nitty-gritty bullshit of this. Backlash 2007. By the way, this is the year the brand split pay-per-views ended, because ECW absolutely fucking tanked that concept, which we'll get to, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But yeah, this took place. By the way, source is Wrestling Rumors from who?
I believe it is written by Tommy Hall. Yeah, Tommy Hall.
Thomas Hall, yep. And yeah, Backlash 2007 took place on April 29th, 2007 from the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia.
You had 14,500 people in attendance and 6 people at the booth.
Dudes, this is why they shouldn't have stopped this shit, man. Like, I don't give a fuck if you didn't want to do an ECW exclusive thing and you just wanted to put them with SmackDown or whatever. But doing every pay-per-view just is like, oh, all 3 brands are on every pay-per-view now? Dude, that's way too much. Like, that fucking killed the whole concept of the brand split. But, yeah, you had Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler for Raw, Michael Cole and Taz for... Michael Cole and John Mayfield. JBL on SmackDown, and Taz and Joey Styles for ECW, so... Yeah. Good commentary teams, I will say.
Yeah.
Because this was when JBL was not... Well, I mean, he's always an insufferable douchebag, but as far as a commentator, like, he was able to be that insufferable douchebag, and it actually worked with the dynamic that Cole presented, so it was actually, like, really good chemistry between those two. I'd argue probably better than Cole and Taz. By, like, a hair.
It's really close.
It's really close.
If one is the number 1 team, the other is pretty much 1A.
Yeah, really. Like, and then nobody talks about him and Coach. For obvious reasons.
Sorry, Coach. You're great on Sports Center. But...
No, you know what, though? He wasn't even bad. It's just like, okay, when I think of Coach, I think of him as the analytical guy. Like
he is on Sports Center.
Like he is on Sports Center, because that should have always been his leading role. Him as an interviewer also is entertaining, the sports entertainment side, if you will. He's good at that. Fucking commentary ain't it. He's just... nothing. Yeah. He's a whole bunch of nothing.
He is beforehand. He's the original Alex Marvez.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. At least you could tell Coach was excited and he put his all into it and he really knew what he was talking about. Dude, Marvez was just like a deer in the fucking headlights. Like, where am I? What's a suplex? What's a drop down? What's a leapfrog?
What's a hip toss?
What's this arm drag you speak of? That never. I love to think.
What sorcery is this?
I love to think that fucking like Marvez never saw wrestling a day in his life to that point, and so like he just has no idea, and he is petrified and pissing himself. Not knowing a goddamn thing.
The poor guy.
Dude, oh my god, that would be hilarious. But yeah, we're dilly-dallying on there. But yeah, Coach was at least okay. But yeah, those 2 teams were good. I always thought Joey Styles and Taz was very underrated for what they were.
I could agree with that.
Because, you know, Joey Styles, like, he didn't need anybody with him, obviously, but if you did put something with them, I think that was always his best work.
With Taz, yeah.
Yeah, it could be either with Taz, Shane Douglas, Joe Gertner, but I think that him and Taz was probably the best out of everything, because Taz actually knew what the fuck he was doing, and same with Joey. So it all worked out. Yeah. But yeah, the commentary was very, very good. Very, very good. But yeah, let's get into the shiznit.
Okay, so it's the WrestleMania follow-up show. The company is still on something of a hot streak, at least financially speaking.
Well, considering they just made the biggest WrestleMania of all fucking time, pay-per-view buys-wise, yeah, I would imagine they're on a bit of a fucking high.
Alright, so we got your classic opening package. This is apparently listed as the WrestleMania sequel, which makes sense.
Right, yeah.
Focusing on the 3 top matches. It's simple, it's to the point, and it works.
Right, yeah.
So, we open up with the Raw Tag Team titles on the line. Team Extreme versus the highly underrated Lance Cade and the good old golden boy, Trevor Murdoch.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is before, his stint, if you will, in the NWA. So this is, like, proper athletic, like, smash mouth Trevor Murdoch also. Like, This is Probably the best run of his fucking career.
Mm. So, Matt and Cade are challenging, and, Cade and Murdoch are challenging. Cade and Matt kick off.
Yeah.
Cade starts by driving Matt into a corner. It gets broken up. Cade goes with a running shoulder tackle. Matt manages to slug his way out of trouble.
Yeah.
Headlock takeover puts Cade down, but it's off to Murdoch, who walks into a slam. Jeff also comes in with a slingshot dropkick, and an elbow flipping splash combination keeps Murdoch in trouble. And there it is. Okay. Mm-hmm. Jeff goes for a whisper in the wind. Turns out to be more of a flipping blockbuster. Did look a little bit wonky.
Yeah.
But it let the Hardys clear the ring.
Yeah.
So,
that's fair.
So, positive result there.
Good shit.
Jeff hit a big poetry in motion to the floor. Cade and Murdoch get knocked down again. Champs in control. Back into the ring, Matt drops a middle elbow rope for 2 on Murdoch, who sends Matt into the corner for a breather. Goes back to Jeff, and he gets pulled out to the floor for the crash to put him in trouble. There's a set-out spine buster, which plants Jeff for 2, and Murdoch grabs a chin lock. Back up, and a neck breaker and clothesline give Murdoch 2 each, followed by a big boot for the same. Cade comes back in for a chin lock of his own, and it's already back to Murdoch for a belly to back. Jeff's dropkick isn't enough for the hot tag, but kicking Murdoch out of the corner is, as Matt gets to come back in, and he comes in like a house of fire.
Yeah, bro.
Everything breaks down pretty much instantaneously, and Jeff is sent hard into the corner, which leaves Cade to come off the top and hit Matt in the back. Murdoch's code red gets 2, but Matt is back up, easy for me to say. Hits a twist of fate, cuts off Cade, and Jeff hits a swanton on Murdoch so Matt can get the retaining pin.
Yeah, and he literally, like, the way he hit the swanton, so if you look back at this too, he actually, like, rolled on his face. Like, holy shit. Like, what a fucking way to take that shit, man. Like, fucking Murdoch took this shit, man.
Yeah, he took it like a champ.
It was really good.
Which is probably his strongest suit in the ring. He sells like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's really good at selling. Always has been a good seller, I think. But yeah.
We give him shit for his NWA run, but you cannot take that away.
Yeah, and that's not even Trevor's fault. Like, again, it's... I like Trevor. I think people think because I shit on the NWA, well, most of the NWA, minus Natalia Markova for obvious reasons, and Odinson. Odison's the fucking goat. Everybody, and how can I forget D'Angelo Dinero, Aaron Stevens?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks
the
that...
two greatest talents they have in that company right now.
Exactly. Everybody thinks that I just hate Trevor or I hate Tyrus. I don't. I never have. It's not the issues with the talent. It's just, number one, their positioning. Number two, it's way past their prime. It's just, and it makes the company look supremely fucking dated. But hey, what do I know? They just sold out the fucking O2 in London, so, I don't know.
We may or may not be talking about that in more depth relatively soon, so keep an eye on the For the Win Productions hub.
Yeah, exactly. That is true. That is fair. That said, though, yeah, this is a good match. I'm gonna rate this. I thought it was a very solid, like, 3.25 opener.
I can agree with that.
Really good. Like,
I can agree with that.
The match was really fucking good. However, and this is one of the things I wish they did before this. I would have loved, and I'm surprised they didn't think of doing this before they did the match. I still to this day wonder why they put the tag titles on Cena and Michaels, because I would have loved to see the Hardys dethrone Rated RKO. I think that match could have been
that would have been a banger.
That would have been a banger. That would have been a kick-ass match.
It really would have been.
Especially if you put that shit in the ladder match, because I think they did a ladder match with the Hardys for the World Tag Team titles with the World's Greatest Tag Team on Raw.
Why did I not watch that?
Which is like, I forget what that would have been. I forget what pay-per-view that was. Somebody remind me, because I would love to. I'm sure, Casey and I would love to check that out.
I would absolutely love to see that match. That sounds like a godsend of a match.
Yeah, they kill each other. Both teams kill each other. But yeah, it was. I wish we could have seen it with the Hardys, Edge one more time, obviously, and Orton.
Yeah,
I think that would have been a fucking belter.
Because Orton is surprisingly good in ladder matches as well.
So good in ladder matches. So many people are. He's so underrated in them. But yeah, that's my thoughts. What did you think about this match?
I'm pretty much with you. Solid 3.25. Tommy here uses a bit of a different rating scale than us. He gives it
C+.
C+. According to him, it felt a little long at over 15 minutes. But the Hardys winning a hard-fought tag match, especially in this era, before we knew everything that was wrong with Jeff, spoiler, is almost always a good idea.
True.
Cade and Murdoch are a good old-fashioned roughneck brawling team, and this was a fine way to use them. Felt like a pay-per-view title match, though trimming off a minute or two might have helped.
Yes. I agree. It could have a little bit long on the heat spot, but I think it was fine. I thought it was a great way to open the show.
And then we cut backstage with Vince and Shane kissing each other's ass over the ECW title.
Okay, real quick. This is one thing I was pissed when they teased this. So in this segment, Vince is like talking with Shane, and I think the first thing he says is does he break down promos here? I doubt he does. But
Not really.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Not really.
So the first thing he says is like, he goes in there, it's like, ready to go, Dad? And he's like, yeah, I am. Hey, by the way, dude, look, what do you think?
Comes in wearing the do-rag.
I like it. And they're like, obviously Shane doesn't like it. You can see it in his face. But, then it's like, man, think about it. Imagine this. I want you to think about this real good, pal. What if we have Shane McMahon, ECW champion? I'm like, yes! Yes! That would have been way better! Like, why wasn't he the champ? Why didn't you give it to Shane? Because, yeah, okay, fair enough. You could still do the fucking story, and it's not Vince winning the fucking belt. But, like, okay, Shane wins the belt, and he can fucking maybe revitalize this fucking brand.
Because it needs it.
Why did you tease this? Obviously, people were going to be okay if Shane was the fucking champion with half the crazy shit he did in the WWE.
Especially at that point.
Like, the fucking dude took a bump on his head off a belly-to-belly against Kurt Angle. A hardcore match. Falls count anywhere. Like, no shit. And then Shane then goes and he's like, appreciate it, Dad, but I think you should be the one to get it.
I think you're the marquee name here.
I'm like, God damn it, Shane. Why? You killed ECW. You single-handedly killed ECW with that comment. Why, man? Why him? Fuck, Umaga, man. Why didn't Umaga get one thing out of this? Like, at least give him the ECW World title. Either one of those two, but no, it had to be Vince. Just because. Like, this was like so egregiously Vince booking here, Vince writing. Let's tease that it's gonna be somebody else, but it's not. That was Vince's MO throughout all of that fucking time period after Lesnar and Goldberg left, where he just didn't care. And he'd just be like, let's tease something, and then fucking pull their leg, and then be like, ah, ha, ha, ha. Fuck you, man. Fucking wasted my goddamn time! I don't know. But yeah, that was the segment. and I'm sure we'll talk about it more. But yeah, fucking women's match. Here we go.
So it's Melina and Mickie James. Mickie is going for the belt, and much like Kate earlier, she wastes no time getting the action started, dragging Melina down into an armbar. They grapple on the mat, which gives us a quick standoff until Mickie head scissors Melina back down. This is broken up as Melina is sent into the corner, where she seems to be favoring her eye.
Yes.
So something to think about there.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Tis but a ruse, though.
Right.
Excuse me, as she charges at Mickie, who hammers away to keep the champ in trouble. Mickie takes too long going up top, though, and gets shoved off into a heap on the floor.
Right.
Can we just really quick? Can we just talk about the instincts of these two women?
Yeah, they're fucking great.
It's boom, 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 and boom.
Yeah.
When you let these two go in the ring, like, sweet lady, fucking hell! Why did the women's revolution not start with these two?
Why did the women's revolution not start with a lot of the fucking women that were in that company? Like, a lot of people remember the key names of, like, Trish and Lita,
And
obviously.
and rightly so.
Rightly so. But Molly Holly, Ivory, Jacqueline, Jazz, fucking, you know, Victoria, who was one of the others? Fucking, you know, Melina, fucking, there were good workers in that women's division they had, like, all throughout those years, and they barely gave a fuck. Like, I'd be shocked if they gave a single fuck of what they actually had, and it showed, because they fucking would, like, if people that were willing to improve and were willing to get better, like Brooke Tessmacher, they fire her because she's wearing fur boots in the fucking back, and that's infringing on Melina's gimmick. Yet they treat Melina like she's a fucking dog, because God forbid, you know, she's a woman and does her own thing. And so we must shit on her for it, because we're dealing with pigs. Did we fucking mention Johnny Ace, pal? I like your ass.
To be fair, Melina is built.
She is fucking stacked. I won't even hold you. She's stacked. So is Mickie.
But they're more than just a body, fellas.
Exactly. Like, and that's like the thing that like infuriates me. These women can fucking go. Like, let them show it. Fuck. Like, this is good. If this had a bit more heat, people would give a shit, you know? But, you know, women's division was treated like fucking shit, and then Vince is like, why is it not over, pal? Why do you think? You barely give them TV time, Vince. I don't know what you talk about, dude. A piece of ass. I don't know why you're having a problem. Don't fire her. You got a great ass. I like your boots. But yeah, fucking hell. Do-Rag Vince was different. Also, one of the reasons why the women's revolution was really born is because of the fans and backstage at the time.
Like we just talked.
None really cared for them, for the talent, but only about sex. Yeah, well, I mean, people are only gonna give that a fuck about that when you've presented it for so long. But it's like, it didn't always have to just strictly be sex. It can have that appeal, but then you could have belter fucking matches like Trish and Lita in the Raw main event, fucking Victoria and Lita at fucking Backlash 04, which, by the way, spoiler alert's coming tomorrow, or some point next week. I don't know if it's that, but I know it's coming this week. And shit like that. The fucking triple threat matches at Mania 18 and Mania 19. Specifically 19, because a lot of heat went into that between Victoria and Jazz and Trish. Like, people clearly gave a fuck if you gave them a reason. You know? But if you only give them one thing all the time, no matter what, no shit, only people are going to give a fuck about sex, because that's what you've conditioned them to think. You know, monkey see, monkey do principle. Like, it's just like, No shit. You know, fuck. We gotta have that softcore porn element, pal. But yeah, as we were with the match.
So they get back in the ring, and Melina grabs a full Nelson with her legs, and even puts her hand on the rope for leverage. Which, fun fact, putting your hand there wouldn't do much, but fans understand that it's technically cheating, so it can go a long way with almost no effort. Again, we go back to talking about the women's instincts in the ring. Learn that kind of thing.
Yeah, for the record, it can do a thing if you have a strong grip in a submission hold. And you apply it hard and keep that same grip, but what you need to do is not hook the rope. You push on the rope. That's how you get more pressure on the ligaments. But I've studied this shit for too long to know little tidbits like that. But fuck it, right?
Yeah. So a choke in the corner has Mickey in more trouble, and a middle rope Thez press, or Louise Thez press in this case.
Louise Thez press.
Drops her again.
Louise.
There's a chin lock that doesn't last long as Mickey drops down into the splits and pulls Melina down into them with her. Which, honestly, pretty interesting TV spot.
That was a really good TV spot.
So they slug it out from there until Mickey kicks her away. There are some clotheslines and a hair toss, which have Melina in more trouble. And a high crossbody gets 2. Melina has had enough. She goes to the eyes and drops Mickey with a reverse DDT to retain.
Decent match, but I feel like it was just heatless, so I have to give it 2 3/4. I don't think it really... It should have been more. If the crowd gave a fuck, I think this could have been bumped up, but there was nobody cared.
Yeah.
And that sucked, because the women worked their fucking asses off.
Again, these two put on a really good match.
Yeah, a really good, technically sound match. Really did well in that regard. But yeah, it just... man, heatless. No heat. Nobody cared. Who cared? I didn't, And that sucks. They never, even here, everybody talks about the great women's workers of this time, and there were plenty.
There were a lot.
They just gave 0 fucks, because it was just, who's the next Playboy girl? Hey, who wins the Diva search? Who's got a nice ass and a great pair of tits? Okay, put them on TV. I'm just
is Santino Morello booking before he even wins the Intercontinental title?
No, to be fair, I mean, Santino's in Impact now, actually booking the women's division in Strong.
Yeah, and apparently he made his in-ring return not long ago.
I still have to watch that event because I was supposed to watch that event live, but then fucking YouTube sucked. Anyway, that's beside the point. But yeah, fucking heatless match, heatless program. Who cared? And it sucks because these women.
Yeah, and the match itself was pretty damn good.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on it?
You pretty much said it all for me. I'm with you. 2 3/4 stars. Deserved better. Tommy here gave it a C. Says they were working hard here, but there's only so much you can do when they're in the lowest level match on the card and the ending comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Melina needs to be built up with wins like this, so they did things as well as they could have. Not a terrible match, but it could have been on any given Raw.
Yeah, and therein lies the problem. It's not pay-per-view worthy, really, I would think. But yeah, there you go. That's our thoughts on the second match of the night. Then we get to the SmackDown matches of the night, or at least one of them.
Before we do, there's a backstage promo.
Right. Yes.
This is Maria Kanellis interviewing Edge, who is very ready to win the WWE Championship. Also, Maria, not the greatest at this point. Holy shit, she's come a long way since this day.
Yeah. What a fucking, Yeah, this is another instance of that, because you look at what Maria becomes, and she's great. Dude, she always had this in her, and they just made her, no, you gotta be a ditz. Why? I hated this gimmick. I still hate this gimmick. Ironically enough, her doing the Playboy shoot actually gave her character, because she wasn't an idiot anymore. Which is finally! You don't have to be stupid! But yeah, I Shout out Maria Kanellis. She cool.
Yeah, she's cool. So's her husband we met once.
Yes, indeed.
So Maria pulls out a fan question and asks Edge, hey, how'd you win your first world title? The answer to that, of course, is Money in the Bank. And here comes Mr. Kennedy.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
He's got the briefcase, and he hints at a cash-in at the end of the night. With that kind of telegraph, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that did not pan out well.
Yeah.
Mr. Kennedy got fucking screwed. Ken Anderson, man, should have been way better in WWE than he was, man.
Yeah, he should have.
Absolute crying shame.
Anyway, there's also a bit of hype for The Condemned. Really good movie, by the way.
There you go.
And now we're on to the U.S. title. Hometown boy Chris Benoit has the championship, and he is defending, once again, I believe this is their rubber match, against Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP. Again, another really underrated worker.
Yeah.
This guy could go back in the day.
He really
Still can.
Still can. So, I will say, the match is probably, as far as technically, best. Probably the best match of the card.
Yes.
Like
These two they had their working boots on tonight.
I will say, dude, it is very uncomfortable seeing Benoit. Like, you can tell he's gone. There's no Benoit anymore. He is on full-on autopilot here, and it's like, fuck. Like, dude, this is, like, the saddest thing about it, too. Like, when you see him come out, crowd's giving him a standing ovation. No emotion. Like, dude, you would have thought this fucker was Dean Malenko, the way he came out here. It was fucking unsettling. Like, the look on his face didn't... No flinching, no smirk, nothing. Like, this is a far cry from where he was in, like, WrestleMania 20, where he was smiling all the time because he won the world title, and he knew he was the best worker in the entire company, and you know, he proved it, and he always had something to prove type thing. And
while we were on WrestleMania 20, didn't he and Eddie have, like, a big celebration on Raw and SmackDown later that week?
On Mania the night of when he won the title, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, they did have celebrations on SmackDown and Raw. Yes, yeah, and Eddie had it at No Way Out after he won the belt, and then fucking Benoit had it at Raw after Mania 20. So yeah, and which, by the way, that that triple threat, can't wait to fucking review that.
Yeah.
But holy shit.
People sleep on Mania 20. It's a really good Mania all around.
Bro. Man, and I am glad the wellness policy is what it is. And I'm glad that mental health
is where it is now.
Yeah. And not even just in pro wrestling, but just combat sports in general. Because, dude, this shit was so bad, and you could tell he should not have been wrestling here. He needed the time off after Eddie died. He needed a year or 2 or 3 to just fucking detox and get out of it. But it's all he knew. He didn't know how to get out of it. He didn't know how to go away. You know, no fucking clue. He tried to cope and still do his job because that's all he knew how to do, and that's how he was brought up and raised as far as, like, working. So he's like, mental health, tough shit, fuck you type of mentality. Like, it ain't about you, it's about, you know, the company or whatever, and do your job type mentality, you know, and I'm really glad that's not as prevalent and it is taking more of a precedent in all of full contact sports because, dude, this was so unsettling seeing him come out here and literally showing no emotion.
In his hometown.
In his hometown of Atlanta, and he's not doing a fucking thing to show his gratitude. I don't even think he realized they were cheering for him. He might have not even been conscious at this point. Because, you know, on top of the multiple concussions he suffered, and then add that with the fucking, I'm sure all the pain medications he was taking, all the delusions he was dealing with after Eddie died and just all the mental anguish he was probably going through, he couldn't have been present here. Like, the dude was, like, legit on autopilot.
Yeah, he was gone.
Which is fucking crazy that the match is as good as it is, by the way, because anybody else in that position, like Jeff Hardy in this same position, nothing. You know, we've seen that.
Yeah.
But, like, if it was as bad as Benoit was here, dude, Hardy wouldn't have been able to stand up on his own 2 feet after the first bump. So, who knows? But, yeah. There you go. Matt, let's break down the match here, and, yeah.
So, to start off, MVP drives Benoit into the corner a few times. A leg drop doesn't work for him, and it's time for the exchange of front face locks. Benoit tries the crossface, but MVP right over to the rope, as he should be.
Mm-hmm.
Back up, and there's a headlock takeover, which slows Benoit down a bit, until he reverses into a head scissors and then bridges up into a backslide for 2. Right. Benoit takes him down and gets the sharpshooter, which sends MVP back to the ropes. They go back up again, and MVP hits a running boot to the back of the head to take over. The cravat goes on to stay on Benoit's neck, and MVP tosses him with a suplex for 2 more.
Motherfucker's using a cravat, by the way, which is a very rare move in WWE around this time. Like, nobody was using the cravat headlock. So the fact that MVP broke this out was fucking great. I enjoyed that.
You want to know what else was great? So, before we talk about what is next here, we should talk about MVP's attire.
Yes.
He's all decked out in red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Because he wants that U.S. title.
Yeah.
The crowd gets on him for this.
It calls him a Power Ranger.
They start chanting Power Ranger.
Power Ranger! Dun, 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 dun.
And that gets on his nerves a bit as he grabs that chin lock.
Mm-hmm.
Benoit fights up and rolls the German suplexes.
By the way, you could tell, you know the reason why he was getting chanted Power Ranger? The amount of kids in this fucking crowd and the amount of parents that did not want to be there is very fucking obvious, dude. Like, it wasn't until the actual, like, last fucking couple of matches where they started making noise. But holy shit, yeah. It's like, what in the fuck? Like, they did not care. The parents did not care. It was like, you heard Power Ranger, but it was like the fucking high pitch. Like, Power Ranger! You know, it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my god. No parent gives a shit.
I feel so bad for those kids because they were having a ball and their parents just did not care.
Dude, it was... Dude, I remember when kids would be there and they wouldn't have a good time, and because they're not going to know any better, right?
Yeah.
But also the people that did know any better, like, had a great time also, and it's like, fuck me, man. That's so lost now. Like, shit, like, weekly wrestling, like, is fucking rough. Because it's not even the same heat as it was back in the Attitude Era. Hell, Ruthless Aggression Era even. Shit. Early Ruthless Aggression. Like, here, fucking heatless crowd cheering from kids and only from kids until, like, the last 2 fucking matches, which everybody actually gave a fuck about.
Yeah. So Benoit fights up and rolls the German suplexes, but MVP, again, showcasing that brain power, he grabs the foot to prevent the swan dive.
Yeah, is that the fucking headbutt?
I think so.
Is that what he called it? The swan dive?
I'm not sure.
Zero. Did he call it the swan dive, Benoit? The fucking diving headbutt? I can't imagine any other move where it would be called a fucking swan dive.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fuck it.
Yeah. So there's a hot shot which gives MVP a series of 2 counts, but Benoit is right back with a crossface, and that sends MVP back to the ropes. He's back with something like an armbar while cranking on the neck at the same time. Big boot misses though, and Benoit rolls more German suplexes. I think he gets 5.
He does get 5, yeah. He gets a lot. He gets a ton.
Yeah.
Like, basically. Yeah. So, there you go.
The swan dive is loaded up, but it hits raised knees, allowing MVP to grab a half crab. Yeah, so I think he has to be talking about the headbutt, because that's what he did there. So I remember this.
It's the swan dive done. Yeah, so he goes for the headbutt.
And
the thing that I notice, and he clearly worked it a little bit when he hit because he hit MVP's leg, not necessarily his knee.
Yeah.
Dude, you're still hitting your fucking head on the bone. Like, Jesus Christ. There's a safe way to do a headbutt. Even a diving one, it's not hard, and I hate it. Like, I think the most egregious one is the one that he does against Pope. Because he like, De Niro gets his knees up, and then, like, Benoit, like, fully hits his head on the fucking knees. Like, he did not fucking, protect himself at all for that. And fucking, you know, I don't think Burke had ever countered that move before. So he legit kneed Benoit in the fucking head. And I'm still convinced that might have been, like, the last brain follicles that were in his fucking brain.
The straw that broke the camel's back?
Yeah, like, that was the thing that made him, sent him over the edge type thing, yeah, unfortunately. But Jesus, dude, like, it's like, why, dude? Why do you even put yourself in that position? Like, you can clearly tell, like, nobody was telling him, like, because everybody's done a diving headbutt every now and again that knows Dynamite Kid. It's like, oh, it's just a Dynamite Kid thing. Yeah, and he was a fucking prick. And a lot of it was because of his fucking concussion issues. You know, he was confined to a fucking wheelchair. Hello? But anyway, as we were.
So, the half crab that MVP grabs off the blocked swan dive is broken up. So MVP tries a suplex, and Benoit quickly reverses into a small package to retain.
Great technical match here.
Yes, excellent technical match.
Like,
I'm gonna say 3.5, 3 3/4 here.
If Benoit did not fight MVP isn't the wrestler he is today, or what isn't the wrestler that he was, like, at all. Dude should have been a world champ just for the performances that he showed alone. I don't know, like, the two people in WWE that always stick at my craw. How do you not make MVP and Anderson world champions? I will never understand that. Like, they had everything going for them. They had the work rate. They had the ability to learn. They had the ability to do all this shit. They were willing to just... They put on great promos. They could fucking work. You know, they could wrestle any style you give them. And they give them nothing. Nothing. MVP gets a few mid-card title runs, and that's it. And meanwhile, he goes over to Japan. He's the first Intercontinental fucking champion in its history. It's like, how? How is this the fucking timeline? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. But yeah, it is what it is. Cool little match here. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd say 3 3/4.
3 3/4, yeah. Very as far as technical matches go, best in the night again.
Not
the crowd.
Not shocking when you consider who's involved.
I think would have been a 4-star match if the crowd gave it a little bit more of a shit. But you could clearly tell the kids were having a good time. But the parents were like,
"Why am I here?
Why am I here?
I'm missing my stories."
Yeah, exactly, exactly that. Or it's not even that they're missing their stories. It's either they probably never. Some of them either fell out of wrestling, but are only bringing them because of their kid and just do not care anymore, or they've never watched wrestling a day in their life, and they're going to these shows because their kids are begging them to go. Please, can we go to Raw? Please, please, please. And then they're like, okay, and then they hate their life. Because they love their kid, but they hate being there, type thing. Like, it is what it is. It's a sacrifice thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was good marketing at least, but yeah. But yeah, two guys, one couch. There you go, Nikos. Hello. I know y'all probably are fans, ain't fans of Dark Side of the Ring. But that episode of Benoit really gave me more understanding of the situation. It's unforgivable, but I'm happy they were more aware of the mental state.
Yeah,
also,
they're more aware of it now. It's just sad that it took this.
Yeah, it took that, and that's the other thing as well. The thing that really bugs me is that it should have been obvious with anybody with a brain to make that fucking call. Like, if I was in that situation, like, even if I was Vince, I would have been like, I would have treated him like I treated Kurt. Like, no, I'm sending you the fuck home. Like, that's the thing that I don't get, because he gave Angle that treatment. I guess because you could tell he was addicted. Maybe Benoit was just, like, really good at hiding it. But, like, I don't know. Like, I look at it and it's just like, I would have sent him home because you could tell he didn't give a fuck. You could tell he wasn't there. He made it pretend that he was, but he really wasn't there. He wasn't mentally okay. So, I don't know why they fucking did that. But yeah, there you go. That's our Benoit talk for today. And it's not that we aren't fans of Dark Side of the Ring, by the way. It's just, dude, I'm sick to death of the negativity of pro wrestling. Like, I can't be fucking asked to cover shit like that. I'm just gonna put my headphones there. But yeah. Moving on.
So, Tommy gives this match a B-, and he says, the ending surprised me, and at least in theory, that's a good thing. At the end of the day, though, I'm not sure how smart it is to have Benoit retain the title, as MVP needs to win something rather soon. I mean, getting pinned by Benoit is hardly some terrible result, but how many times can MVP lose before it stops mattering?
He did eventually win the U.S. title from Benoit, and then Benoit would get drafted to ECW, and then...
And then what happened? What happened?
Yeah.
So, back to backstage.
Oh, Jesus.
John Cena is asked about his title defense tonight, but before Johnny QC can get too deep into his response, excuse me, here comes Randy Orton to interrupt. Orton talks about their similarities, including their good looks. He tosses out an alliance, but of course,
Cena turns it into something else and starts making gay innuendo jokes.
Apparently,
because
that was
Orton
the
called
thing.
both of each other handsome. So you really think that I'm handsome, and you also said we should
Get together.
No, I mean something like in the ring, man.
Why was it that Randy Orton then was just me now?
Very gay. Gay all the time.
Except I'm not actually gay. I just say a lot of unintentionally gay shit.
Yeah, basically. Well, yeah. Same with Orton. What's the difference? Orton was saying gay shit. I don't know, it was clearly a fucking, ha-ha funny.
And how you know it and was just meant to be ha-ha funny? After Cena walks off screen, camera pans over. Damn!
Oh my god, fuck. Why did that scare me when you did that? I'm still not, fully awake enough for this shit. Yeah, so that's exactly what he did. He turned around, Ron Simmons was standing behind him. I think he said, another gay innuendo type of thing. And Simmons fucking called him out on that shit. I don't exactly know what he said. This is definitely, 6th grade humor, middle school humor here. Ha ha ha, we know what all this means. Because the internet's a thing, and we probably shouldn't know. Well, we know anyway. Shout out the early stages of the Wild West of the internet for that, by the way. Thank you, Newgrounds. Appreciate it.
Oh man, Newgrounds. I just flashed back 15 years.
Yeah, you remember the fucking goddamn weird animation where they had Bowser and his goddamn spiky dick fucking tip fucking Peach?
Unfortunately.
That was a fucking thing. I was like, well, I just rated fucking things on goddamn Newgrounds. It's just yeah, that is there. Dude, that scarred me at first as a fucking kid. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Fucking Newgrounds, dude.
Nobody gave a shit on that site.
No, they fucking posted whatever and fucking...
You had some gems, though. Super Mario Brothers Z came out of Newgrounds.
They did. But yeah, Newgrounds, everybody talks about the fucking, YouTube and all that shit. Nah, man, I'm a Newgrounds kid all day, every day.
I am also a Newgrounds kid.
So there you go.
I never posted anything there, but
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So anyway.
So we recap the McMahons and Umaga versus Bobby Lashley for Lashley's ECW World Title. Can we just hit the fuck this match button?
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, this was so long. How many minutes? Did he even give a time on this?
Let's scroll through. I do not see a time listing. Either way, it was about 8 minutes too long.
I think it was about fucking 15 minutes too long. Shouldn't have happened. Yeah, I mean, the thing that pisses me off about all this, right? Okay. So, we're not going to break down spot for spot here, but I do have to talk about this because this just fucking stuck in my craw. So, they're doing this fucking deal where they're like, nothing seems amiss with commentary. They're like, business as usual. Bro, the chairman of World Wrestling Entertainment is competing for the ECW title and put himself, along with his son, and a Samoan bulldozer in a 3-on-1 handicap match. And there's a very real possibility that Vince McMahon is going to win the ECW World title. And this is business as usual for you? Like, oh, it's nothing. And then, anybody with a fucking brain could obviously see where this is going because it's 3-on-fucking-1, right? And they send him into the steps. They fucking do coast to coast. Lashley kicks out a few times. Umaga hits 2 splashes. They tag in Vince. Vince pins ECW champ. And then, that's when the commentators are shocked. Then that's when the fucking commentator, like Joey Styles and Taz, couldn't believe it all of a sudden. They couldn't believe that Bobby Lashley lost the ECW title. It's 3-on-1! What do you mean? What are you talking about? It was fucking obvious to anybody with a fucking goddamn eyesight. This motherfucker, and Joey Styles is just fucking pretending like this is the worst, this is the darkest day in ECW. Yeah. And then fucking Taz with the call of the night. I knew it was 3-on-1. I for some reason I thought Bobby could overcome the odds. I'm like, so you're telling me you cashed all your chips on fucking Lashley? You are the worst gambler in pro wrestling, Taz. You suck at gambling. Don't fucking go on DraftKings, motherfucker. Goddamn. Like, this was so egregious by Vince here. Like, the booking, the commentary, what they were told to say. Jesus Christ, this sucked. This sucked. It was just like, get to the point, do a beatdown, and have Vince pin him if you're going to do it. At least rip the Band-Aid off quick. It's just like, instead they're like, inject the needle very slowly. Like, there we go. Meanwhile, your arm is throbbing in fucking pain. Like, that's what this was. It sucked. Like, why did you waste our time? This was such a waste of time. Like, I gave this -2 stars, dude. It wasn't the worst match I've seen, because, like, the action in it was passable. But, like, god damn, I felt like I was wasting my time watching this. Because you knew the result. You knew it. And then they pretend like you're supposed to believe that this wasn't where it was going to lead to. Fuck you, you told us in the segment before the fucking match took place, you fucks. Like, what do you mean? We're supposed to believe this ain't going to happen. You fucking predicted it. And it was just like, well, they did that before, and then the victim foils. Yeah, except for when you put into perspective that this is WWE from 2006 to 2008 we're talking about here, where anything they said that was going to happen, happened. You know why? Because they were catering the kids, and they thought the way to cater the kids was make it look as dumb as possible, and make sure they don't know what they're doing. So it's like, you gotta explain this to them. It's gotta be specifically said that this shit's happening the way it's happening, and then we do it. That was the WWE around this time period. But James, they're going to show tickets for ECW. Vince is going to show. Why? That's extreme. Wow. Yeah, alright, Zero. Yeah, alright.
I think that was the joke he was trying to make.
Fucking, yeah, sure. Yeah, and I'll fucking be cured of my autism. Shit. God damn.
So anyway, there's a backstage segment after all that. We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, well, we will. I will say Shane was the best part of the whole segment.
Oh, easily.
That's why this, like, gets a pass, because they do a post-match beatdown. This shit goes longer afterwards, believe it or not. And then he's, like, using the kendo stick, and then he goes, EC-dub, EC-dub. He's, like, waving the kendo stick around or whatever. So Shane was at least funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Why couldn't it have been Shane, man? Man, Shane would have actually fucking had bangers. Like, it would have been cool. Like, Shane and Benoit could have been cool. Shane versus Punk! Shit! God damn! Could you have imagined? That would have ruled. Nope. Vince. Vince. Only for it, by the way. To make this even worse, by the way. I'll just put this out there and then we'll move on. I promise. Fucker loses at the next fucking pay-per-view anyway! And then he loses the belt to the fucking draft! He gets drafted to Raw and he's like, you can't be the ECW champion because you're not on the ECW brand anymore. What the fuck was the goddamn point? Just give it to somebody that can be a competent fucking worker then. Give it to fucking Shane and he can at least carry it for a few months before dropping it to Punk.
Or even better, give it to Umaga because he's on the brand anyway.
Exactly! Oh no, but he gets traded to Raw too. Fucking morons, man. Like, nobody had a fucking clue. Johnny Ace is a fucking schmuck. Goddamn Michael PSA is a bigger schmuck and a racist one at that. Vince McMahon, all the above, and a misogynistic pig. Fuck them all, man. Fuck this shit. Anyway, world title. Fucking goddamn.
So,
here's a cat. You want a cat? Here's a nice thing to see. This is a better thing. And this makes me happy. You know what doesn't make me happy? Stupid shit like the ECW title match. This, however, this is adorable. This little kitty right here. It's an adorable cat.
Can't even see her right now.
She can't even see her. Well, here. You can see her now.
You can see some of her.
She's very tiny. Anyway, as we were.
There we go. Okay, now you get a better look.
There you go. There's a kitty. Alright.
Okay. So, we recap Batista vs. Undertaker in a last man standing match for Undertaker's World Heavyweight title. Undertaker took it from Batista at WrestleMania, and now it's time for the much more violent rematch. Neither trust the other, but they do have some mutual respect between them.
Well.
As they should.
Well. He says much more violent. I'm gonna be real with you. Other than the table shit and the fucking ending spot, fuck, this lacked. The cage match they had, I think a couple weeks later on SmackDown before Edge cashed in, was way more brutal than this. Like, maybe that was just me, and maybe I'm wrong about that too. Maybe I have like a Mandela effect going on, but like for whatever reason, I was like watching this and I thought it was a lot more because they always hyped it up as like this big juggernaut match that happened on Backlash. I don't know. This ain't the greatest of their encounters.
It ain't the greatest, but compare it to the one NXT UK pay-per-view we do not talk about.
Which one? That one. Dude.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair though, the thing was there was actually decent. There was like 2 good matches on that show, and there was a really good match, great main event match. Yeah, and then everything else fell apart.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Including the ring.
Uh-huh. True.
Alright, so Undertaker obviously is defending, and it's last man standing. For those who don't know, there are no pinfalls, no countouts, no DQs, no submissions. The winner is the man who beats his opponent so badly that they cannot answer a 10 count.
Yep, that's basically the last man standing. Now, apparently, both men got attacked by Finlay before this pay-per-view, so they are both going in with injuries.
Yep, which is why Batista is taped up.
Yep.
And Undertaker, it's not as noticeable, but if you pay attention during the early stages of the match, you can see a little bit of tape on his midsection just under the top of his.
Yes, so they both have bad ribs.
Yeah. Well, Batista has a bad thigh.
Oh yeah, that's right. He has a bad thigh because he attacked the leg, right?
Right. So Undertaker sends Batista into the corner to kick it off. Starts hammering away. Too early for a chokeslam, obviously. So Undertaker instead scores with a jumping clothesline. Personally, my favorite one he ever did was at Backlash 99 when it was a full-on jumping front flip.
Yeah, I love that.
That looked goddamn sick. I love it.
Yeah.
Old School connects as well. And it's very early for Old School. But Batista comes back with a running power slam. They fight outside with Undertaker kicking Batista up against the apron and then going after the big bullseye on the leg. There's an apron leg drop, classic apron leg drop, which gives Undertaker a 5 count, but Batista whips him knees first into the steps upon getting up. They go back in, and Undertaker catches him up top for a superplex, very rare for Undertaker,
right,
for the big double knockdown. Both get up and slug it out until Batista hits a running clothesline and slams him down for a leg drop. Undertaker kicks him right back to the floor and loads up the announcer's table, which can't possibly go well.
No, it can't.
I can only imagine that is exactly the inflection that Tommy had in mind when he wrote that out.
Yeah. Can't ever go well when you have the table just disintegrate.
Yeah. Instead, Undertaker hits him with the steps for 7, and now it's time for a now bloody Batista to be put on the announcer's table.
He was gushing.
I don't know if they bladed or if this was a hard way, but man, Batista had a great crimson mask.
Yeah, he did have a good crimson mask. Yeah. This stuff was really good. I wish this was like the whole match pretty much.
Yeah.
But like they had like a regular match in between all the brutal spots afterwards, which is like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's a heck of a jumping leg drop off the barricade through the table, which also looked sick.
Awesome. That was awesome.
Also looked sick. It crushes Batista for a 9 count. They go back in, and the spear gives Batista 7. By the way, underrated spear, Batista's.
Very underrated and very powerful. The way, especially when he does it from the spear and then he puts him through the table. That's fucking brutal.
Yeah. And the spine buster puts Undertaker right back down. There's 2 more, which give Batista a 9, but Undertaker comes right back with a chokeslam.
Yeah.
That's also enough for a 9, so Undertaker hammers away in the corner. That's not smart.
No.
Only to get pulled into the Batista bomb for a very close 9. There's a frustrated Batista that grabs a chair and blasts Undertaker in the head. Like, that was a
fucking... Dude, he swung this thing like a baseball bat. I think...
Like, that
might have been one of the few fucking shots that Taker took flush to the head. I don't think he was able to fucking...
No, I saw him get a hand up, but god damn, it sounded like a gun went off.
Yeah, dude.
That was a hell of a shot.
Dude, it was fucked up.
The Batista bomb, however, is countered with a backdrop onto the chair. Tombstone is good for 9, so Undertaker kicks him outside again. They fight up to the stage. Tombstone is counted again, and Batista spears him off the stage. Sets off the sparks, and part of the set falls down, and that is enough for a double 10 count. So Undertaker retains.
And both men get up afterwards, by the way.
Yeah.
They didn't even stay down afterwards, like it wasn't a stretcher thing. They were trying to get the stretchers, and then they started getting up. Really cool spot. But yeah, so besides the table spots and that shit in the end, which was good, that made it feel like a last man standing match. Everything else felt weird because I understand the whole filling out process in the beginning, but then they do that again after all the table match shit, and then minus the chair, it was just really a regular match with the last man standing 10 count rule. And I just felt it was, I don't know, it was misplaced, misjudged. I think they should have probably brought in a couple more weapons just to kind of make it feel like, okay, we're picking things up here in the ring now.
I can agree with that, but for what it was, I enjoyed it.
It was good. I give it 3 stars. It was fun.
I'm going to say 3.5.
So, yeah. It was...
Tommy really liked this one. He gave it a solid B.
There you go.
And he said they beat each other up for a long time, and the leg drop spot looked good. It did. Watch it. But going to a draw in a last man standing match is rarely going to get anything but an eye roll.
Yeah, that might have hurt it as well. The crowd super booed that finish.
Yeah,
because they were into this. Like, the crowd finally came alive full on. Like, the crowd were into this, and then the fucking double count out happened, and everybody booed.
Yeah,
including kids. So everybody was not happy with this.
Yeah, the ending did look good and feel big, but it made this match feel like it didn't matter. You don't want that kind of a feeling, though the third match should be good as well.
And it was, by the way.
Both guys take their time getting up, but leave on their own.
Although, I will say, even though I like the cage match between the two, I hate the idea that they climb out of the cage. They're coward. The way to win is to be a coward and run away.
Yeah.
The fuck.
That's what you want, a last battle of Atlanta type cage. We get another reminder that the Condemned is still a thing. There's a fan poll on who will win the main event. John Cena takes
the Condemned is still a thing, alright. Well, you might not share the same sentiments you do, Casey. Tommy didn't seem to like the Condemned.
I enjoyed
that much.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. Good, solid, harmless action flick. What's not to like?
I actually have never seen the Condemned.
You should. I recommend it.
I've heard really good things about it from people that are not fucking snobs of film.
Yeah.
This is definitely
not for cinema snobs. But if you're looking for good, solid, mindless, harmless, 90 to 100 minutes
with Stone Cold being Stone Cold, basically.
Yep, 90 to 100 minutes of solid action, with Stone Cold being Stone Cold and Vinnie Jones being really goddamn enjoyable. The Condemned is the movie for you.
Fair enough.
So there's a fan poll on who's going to win the main event. John Cena takes a full 50% of the vote.
This, again...
Nobody was fooled!
Nobody was fooled. Dude, the thing that infuriated me is that they were doing this shit. And it obviously was going to spoil the fucking ending. Like, okay, it's the same principle that I have with the Vince spoiling the fucking who was going to win the title. Because obviously it was going to be him after he made that segment. This is another fucking instance of that. The AT&T voting thing. It happened with fucking, in Mania 23 too.
Yeah.
They did it with both title matches, and both were correct. From the fan polls. It was Taker winning, and and granted, if it was like UFC, because UFC kind of did the same thing, then alright. But, like, even then, UFC had, like, some, 70-30, 60-40, like, dude, every pay-per-view, it was a landslide vote. Like, Batista won 73% of the, Taker won 73.
Undertaker won 83%.
83% of the whole vote in WrestleMania 20. Nobody was buying that Batista was entertaining.
So the WWE said to us.
Yeah, right. And then, fucking... Yeah, exactly. They could have fucking rearranged it just to fucking tell you it themselves as well. Or they could have said... And then, fucking... I think it was a little less egregious, but it was still a fucking landslide vote. No, it was a landslide vote for Cena retaining the title.
Yeah, I think it was like a 65-45% chance.
And I'm like, or whatever. Here, again, they do the same shit. Cena gets 50% of the vote. What the fuck? I don't get why they did this. I'm so glad it ended in 2007 because I don't think they picked up the contract afterwards because it was ruining the pay-per-view main events. Like, horribly. Like, it was fucking their pay-per-view business up bad, so Vince probably doesn't see it as a good expense to have as a sponsor anymore, but I can't see how this would be a good idea. But, here we go.
So now it's time to recap the four-way for the Raw World title. I watched this on Peacock, and I feel like they cut a lot of dialogue out of it.
Yeah, you know why? Because they had to fucking get rid of the theme song that they no longer have the rights to. And they put in some generic-ass track. I forgot what the fucking theme song of this event was. So, there you go. I don't know what was actually said. I don't know the story they told. Probably way better than the dub version. So, there you go.
Yeah. So, Cena is defending the WWE Championship against Edge, Randy Orton, and Shawn Michaels. One tag team and his own partner. This is one fall to a finish. There's a big stare down at the bell, and it looks like we're in for a mini tag match. We don't get any contact until a minute in when Edge and Orton are knocked to the floor. Shawn turns to chop Cena, who grabs an overhead release fisherman suplex for two.
Always liked that by Cena.
Yeah.
I thought he had a really good variation of the fisherman.
Yeah. Back in, and Orton drop kicks Edge outside, and all four wind up on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Edge whips Orton into the ropes, into the steps, but Shawn is back up to plant Edge with a slam. And he's not done, as he moonsaults off the top onto all three of them.
Yeah, that was a great little spot they did there, too, because it didn't look like they were waiting. They were all brawling when Shawn leaped off the top, and then they turned their heads like, holy shit! And then they fucking, like, all fell down like bowling balls.
Oh, you want to talk about a holy shit? We get back in, and Cena hits a double top rope Fameasser onto Edge and Michaels for the triple knockdown.
So good.
Cena can wrestle, people!
He's not a fucking bad worker. He was just made to fucking look like he was 5 moves of Doom guy.
Orton comes back in and sends Shawn and Edge outside, leaving Cena to get caught with the backbreaker for two. Cena gets sent into the post, but Shawn is back in to slug away on Orton. Edge comes back in with a spin wheel kick on Shawn, meaning it's time for a mini rated RKO reunion. Yay!
And by the way, I'm surprised he busted out the spinning wheel kick.
Yeah.
Because I thought I feel like I hadn't seen him do that forever and a day around this time. Like, after he turned heel, he stopped using the spinning heel kick, I felt like. So I marked out when I saw him busted out here. I'm like, yeah, it's cool.
A Cena comeback attempt gets shoved off the apron and onto the announcer's table, and there's a double backdrop to Shawn. This sets up a double half crab, which somehow equals Boston instead of one.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got 2 half crabs. I mean, I don't know. What can you call it if it's 2 single legs crabs? The Montreal crab? No, it's the Boston crab. It's the Boston lobster. It's the monster lobster. You got him in the monster lobster. The monster lobster's been applied. I don't know. Fuck it.
I'm gonna start using that.
Fucking mobster lobster. Can that be a fucking fish name for somebody, please? Oh my god. And give me royalties for once.
No. You know what it is? It's the name of a tour bus in Boston.
Probably, yeah.
Mobsters and Lobsters.
Mobsters and lobsters.
That is actually, I can confirm that is a thing that exists. I saw the tour bus while I was at Wicked Comic Con last week.
The lobster lost reply.
Anyway, Cena comes in for the real save. The shuffle hits Edge. 5-knuckle shuffle, that is. But Shawn is up to send Cena and Orton.
By the way, for those who don't know what 5-knuckle shuffle means, it's wanking. It means masturbation. But anyway, there you go. Again, the more you know.
The more you wish you didn't know.
Yeah, I swear, I don't remember. I think I was 16 when I found that on Urban Dictionary. Like, just randomly, because I was curious on what the fuck 5-knuckle shuffle even meant. And so, curiosity scarred the teenager and found out what it was, and was like, arrow. So, yeah. So Shawn is up to send Cena and Orton face first into the post. Shawn lines up a pile driver through the announcer's table, but Edge makes the save with a chair. Another chair shot drops Orton, leaning to pull Edge into the STFU. The rope is grabbed, so Cena puts Orton in the same hold. Shawn makes the save and cleans house, including sending Orton and Edge outside. That was so cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed those spots. Like, it felt like a chaotic 4-way. It didn't feel like just 2 people were out of the ring for no reason. It was like, no, some big impactful shit happened to make them stay out there.
Right.
Which is like, and then when it was time, all 4 men would be involved, and then shit would just break down again.
Yeah.
And it felt fucking chaotic, but like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like controlled chaos.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
So there's a top rope elbow that hits Cena, and there's another one to Edge. Shawn loads up one more to Orton, but Cena breaks it up, and we get the big Tower of Doom to leave everyone laying. Back up, and Cena and Edge trade finisher attempts until Cena throws Edge and Shawn up onto his shoulders at the same time. Shawn slips off and tries the super kick, but Orton hits an RKO out of nowhere.
Goddamn right.
Cena breaks that up before one, but walks into the execution. Orton and Cena trade finisher attempts until Edge spears Orton down. The FU hits Edge, but Cena walks into the super kick to leave everyone down, except that Cena lands on Orton for the pin to retain.
What a great finish. What a fucking awesome fucking end to the 4-way. This is the best 4-way match ever for a world title. This was fucking baller. Like, I love this match. Like, these guys, they came to work, and they delivered, man. I really like this match. I actually give it like a solid like 4.5.
I'm with you.
I fucking love this match. I thought it was the best Fatal 4-way that they ever produced. Damn near perfect all the way through.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And so is Tommy. He gives this a B+. The match, he says, the match took some time to get going, but ultimately it was the last few minutes that took this to another level. The last 4 or 5 minutes were absolute fire with one big spot after another, and I love the ending too, as Shawn knocks Cena silly and would have had him beat had Cena not got lucky with the landing. You can go a few directions from that, and I'm sure we'll see some fallout at the next pay-per-view. Shawn is living in
What was the next pay-per-view? What I wonder who what was the main event of? Would Judgment Day have been the next pay-per-view? It had to have been,
want to
right?
say yes. We're still in 2007.
So look that up real quick on another tab real quick. Because obviously I want to see Judgment Day 2007. Yeah, because I'm just curious now that we're Judgment Day 2007. Oh my God, Kane's on the fucking cover.
May 20th. Yep, that would have been the next one.
Okay, so what was the main event of that show? Or what was the results of that show? Because there should be a results.
Oh my God.
What was it?
They pulled. You remember? You remember how leading up to WrestleMania 15, fucking Road Dogg and Badass Billy Gunn kind of swapped programs?
Oh, I do.
That's pretty much what happened here, because remember, the draft happened in between these two events.
Oh, I see. Okay, let me see what happens here then.
So on SmackDown we had Edge versus Batista for the World Heavyweight title. Edge won it via pinfall with a schoolboy,
which is fair enough, right? And then
then on Raw we had Cena versus the Great Khali.
Right, which was their lead-in for the rematch at One Night Stand, which is the best Great Khali match he ever had in his career. Yeah, okay, yep, alright, wow. Yeah, so much for the lead-in to the next pay-per-view concept, huh?
Yeah, right.
Jesus criminy.
Shawn is livid after the pin, obviously, and yells at Cena, who looks confused.
Yeah. He was just like, why? Why are you yelling at me? You were the one who super kicked me, you moron. Like, why are you yelling at me for? Oh, fuck. Right. So this guy gives it an A-. Why?
He gives the overall show an A-.
Right.
He says, you had a 6-match card, and the 2 longest were very good while getting by far the most time. Fair point. Throw in Benoit versus MVP in a good match, and the worst thing, I think we disagree on this, but
Mickey versus Molina
in a watchable match.
Wow.
And this was a heck of a show. In his defense, I think he looks at the ECW title change as being purely for an angle, which is fair enough. But why have it take it more than 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's waste of fucking time. But yeah, he said, I liked this more than
I would have bet on, as WWE continues having their very strong stretch over the last few months.
I disagree. And the thing is, right, so about this whole thing, right, What does he say here? What's the last
He's been a wrestling fan. It's just a quick bio about the guy who wrote this article. Apparently, he's been a wrestling fan for over 30 years and has seen over 60,000 wrestling
God
matches.
damn, Thomas. All right, cool. Good on you, bro.
So the guy knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about, but I will respectfully disagree with him. I think this is a solid B. This ain't the worst show I've ever seen.
No.
I think it could have been a lot fucking worse. I'll
Yeah.
straight up be right there. Right
Yeah,
now.
if you want a good top to bottom wrestling show, you can do a whole lot worse than Backlash 07.
Yeah, it's a really good show. I think overall, it's definitely up there in 2007 standards as being one of the better pay-per-views, B pay-per-views. But that's solely for the undercard. And I think the thing that drags it way down is Batista and Taker being slightly disappointing in retrospect. And that fucking Vince debacle. Like, just how long it took to get to the fucking point, as you said. I think that's kind of what fucking ruins it a little bit. Because it could have been a lot better than it was. Hell, I say you could have had a better match if you just put Shane and Lashley in the spot, or Umaga versus Lashley. I think could have had a fucking belter. They had a belter at Mania 23.
Yeah.
Bells and whistles and all, or whatever. But, like, I don't know why you couldn't have had a rematch for the ECW title against Umaga and Lashley and have Umaga win the fucking thing here.
Yeah, that would have absolutely been worth 15 minutes.
That would have been great. Like, you just had two big hosses fucking clobbering each other.
Yeah,
and it's
we'd have
like,
been happy.
A lot of people thought that Lashley couldn't go around this era. He could. He was a really good wrestler.
Now, not quite to the extent that he can these days, since he's had his seasoning.
He's a lot more seasoned.
Since he's had his seasoning and Impact.
Even here,
but
he
had
a lot of natural likability.
For what he was at this point in his career, Lashley was good, dude.
He was very good. And I think he was more than the right choice to be a champion. He should have been the ECW champion. However, if they were going to make him the ECW champion, I think him and Umaga would have had a belter. There's no reason they wouldn't have had a belter. Like, Lashley should have been in a big-time spot that wasn't against Vince.
Right.
Or that wasn't strictly against Vince.
Like, to turn this into a little bit of fantasy booking.
Oh, by the way, in the promo match, I will say, because we didn't mention this, in the promo for that match, Vince and a mobster has the funniest fucking thing.
Of the fedora, yeah.
Bro looking like what's the guy's name from the who's the guy? There's Vinny Luco, and then what's his fucking guy with the fucking top hat? I forget his name.
What are you referencing, first of all?
I think is it the Goodfellas or is it Sopranos?
If it's Sopranos, I wouldn't know.
It wouldn't be Vinny Luco if it was the Sopranos.
No,
I forget. I forget his name.
But
he looked like him.
But yeah, absolutely. The Mafia Don look with the striped fedora and the pinstripe
I
suit.
actually would have been okay with that.
That is a perfect look for Vincent Kennedy McMahon around that time.
It was actually scary how that fit. Anyway.
To turn this into a little bit of fantasy booking before we get off the air here.
Yep.
Were this up to me, I probably would have made it just Umaga versus Lashley for the ECW title.
Yeah.
You can have the McMahons in Umaga's corner
to have him lose the belt.
To screw Lashley out of the belt, yes. And then use that feud to build Lashley up for the main card, because I believe he gets drafted to SmackDown.
He gets drafted to Raw right after this,
yeah,
actually. Yeah.
So that's perfect for him.
Which is perfect. And then you could have had Umaga actually do something, especially when you consider his fucking manager's the general fucking manager of the fucking brand afterwards. A little fucking foresight and thinking here! Anyway, sorry. 2007 makes my brain hurt. Like, there's
a lot of things that make your brain hurt.
There's good matches on the card, but the booking is just like, dude, no foresight or long-term planning at all. Oh, and I hate it. I hate it so much. But yeah, that was Backlash 07. Decent little show. I think, and I don't know if you've ever seen 04, but I think 04. I've watched both 04 and 07.
Backlash 04?
Backlash 04 was the way better show out of those shows that I've seen.
It has been a minute since I've watched Backlash 04, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it. That's the one with Mick Foley and Orton, right?
Yes, which is fucking outstanding. That should have been on Mania. Like, that's how good it was. Although, if it was on Mania, I feel like it wouldn't have gotten nearly as much heat as it did in fucking Canada. Genuinely, I think it wouldn't have gotten as much heat. But fuck, man, that match is so good. The triple threat match is the best triple threat match ever. Everybody says that Mania 20 for the historical significance, man. You guys got to see this match. That's all I'm gonna tell you. This was the better match. So yeah, we'll be reviewing that on this channel. So stay tuned on that. Again, subscribe to Zero Entertainment. Subscribe to Color TV, the two new channels officially a part of FTW Productions, and joining us alongside everybody else.
Hey, EPW just showed up for the end. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Everything Pro Wrestling says good afternoon. We just finished up Backlash 07, brother. So if you want, watch this back on demand if you can. But yeah, we're just kind of shilling our shit here. So yeah, everybody check out our shit, man. Yeah, man, thank you for the love. I appreciate it. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and subscribe to every channel that we can, man. Like, we do a bunch of stuff, man. Like, Jay Hebert Studios, youtube.com/user/JHEBERTSID95. That's my channel. His channel, which is youtube.com/user/MetalNut1120. That's Insanity Works Studios.
Insanity Works Incorporated.
I'm sorry, that's right. Yeah, Insanity Works Incorporated now. You can check out our buddy Noah Foster, youtube.com/@nfoster1916. That's his wrestling channel. That's our simple man of the FTW brand.
He is simple man.
He's got his own for it, and he's got his own brand. So yeah, check out the Simple Man's brand there. Weymouth Youth Wrestling, our CAW Wrestling League. If you love everything pro wrestling, you will love Weymouth Youth Wrestling. So that's in the description down below.
And just as a little update, we're very close to the end. We're like two mega events out from the end.
From recording.
Yeah, as far as recording goes.
Which means we'll be able to edit. We're still
getting the match. We're still getting the match footage, but we're much closer to the end than we've been in a long time. I think we're 2 weeks out from our penultimate mega event.
Yes.
And then there's like a 6 or 7 week build to Immortal 2, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that will be our first full calendar year for WYW. So be on the lookout for that, and also be on the lookout for matches individually that'll be going on that channel. youtube.com/user/WYW Pride. In the meantime, while you're waiting for actual content to be released, recent content, you can check out Off the Books with full-on voiced characters, just to put in perspective. Like, all of our shit's voiced. We do all voice acting, full-on original characters, a few third-party characters as well to kind of spice things up. And all of it voice acted. So if you want to go check it out, go check that out. YouTube.com.
I mean, hell. We even did some live action shit.
We did do live action shit as well with it. YouTube.com/user/WYW Pride. You can also check out, again, Zero Entertainment. Zero, if you're in the chat, make sure you put your channels in the description. Because
or the chat log.
You have a weird one for Zero for the Zero channel. Like, you have a Prime Circle. I butchered it last time, so that's why I'm saying put it in the chat. But yeah, check that out and check out Color TV as well. I'll put that in the chat, I hope. And then you can also check out Owen the Talkinator. Owen the Talkinator is going to be joining the FTW brand, so if you want all of his non-wrestling content, so far the show's on the docket for that show. Content and review, Character Select, which is a show that I'm going to be doing on there. Owen and AJ Talks, and Retro Movie Review Series, which may involve him and also may involve Nikos and or may involve AJ Talent. that has been on the channel for the longest time, even before FTW came into the fold. So go check out all the legacy content that Owen and AJ have done on there, and check out their latest video, their latest update video on that channel, and also check out the new FTW main hub channel, releasing some point this week, re-premiering. Mistress Audio's shared experience story is going to be re-premiering on there. We added a little bit of a cool graphic that includes him and Kuzan and everybody that made that what it was. So we're going to be re-airing that on that. That's the first of the best of FTW. I figured it was the easiest thing to re-upload.
Yeah.
So
especially since we've got Immortal and Gold Rush already across
we
three channels.
3 channels. Yeah. So check that out. We're going to be posting a lot more SMBZs. SMBZ. We may even redo some of that.
Yeah.
Just to refresh on it.
Honestly, I feel like we should do the smart thing, and anything we make that is meant for FTW Productions from here on out, just throw it on the hub.
So yeah, that's what we'll do. Also, what we'll do is, hey, step it. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll make sure to select the very best of the stuff, and then we'll leave everything else on other channels, so that way people get subs. But yeah, the idea is if we have like a cross promotional event, we'll put it on FTW main hub, and then we'll air it on the other channels after the fact.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing, probably going forward as we do this. But yeah, subscribe to all that shit, man. Like, we got a bunch of shit in the can coming up, and we ain't stopping. Maybe even a return of the Don DeMarco show as well, which is going to be a music series that breaks down musical lyrics and mostly rap lyrics, bar for bar, with my buddy King A-Train. So go check that out. And yeah, man, that's everything. Figured we'd do our little shills there, but yeah, go check it out, guys. Go check out FTW Productions, and that's pretty much it, guys. And as Owen says, we'll talk to you guys later. This is being recorded in the this has been live streamed in the present, and you may be watching this in the past after it's been on demand. We'll talk to you guys in the future.
Redoing all the classics, you heard it, then I grabbed it. Flow like Method Man, then run like I'm Rabbit. Soon as I hear the bass line, it be my FaceTime. Music's in my veins, so just in case I'm without my iPod or a media player, I'll check my